Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're doing a what I watched during the month video. Yes, these videos come around very quickly in terms of like the end of the month haul video, what I watched last month video. There's so many of these like on YouTube in general, but obviously all BlueTubers do them, and I do like doing them because it kind of wraps up the month and then starts us again for the next month, of course. This month I wrote them all down. We have 26 movies I watched, 10 in the cinema, 13 Blu-rays, and then 3 on streaming. So we're going to get into them. We'll start with the cinema stuff. So this is obviously the new releases this month. As always, if you want to follow me on Letterboxd, you can, and I put these my ratings of films as I go throughout the month. So if you want to see live what I actually watched, then you can follow me over there on Letterboxd. So the first movie I watched in the cinema then, in order of when they came out, I suppose, in terms of when I saw them, Mickey 17, the new follow-up from the director of Parasite, of course, and starring Rob Pattinson. Really good film, to be honest. I gave it a 4.5 star on Letterboxd. I think it's one of the films of the year for me so far. Brilliant experience, brilliant, CGI, very up my street in terms of its sci-fi elements. I think Rob Pattinson was on a bit of a sleep. He's like a bit of a sleeper actor, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's really good in Batman, hasn't done anything since, and then now Mickey 17 again, really good. So Rob Pattinson for me, fantastic. Obviously he basically is a Mickey and he gets reprinted every time he dies. So it's like a space film where they're like trying to colonize a planet and trying to figure out if it can actually inhabit humans, I suppose. And he's a bit of a test subject. So if he gets killed or whatever, then like he might be used to test viruses and then die, and then again they reprint him and they call him expendable. So yeah, really good film. Can't wait to own that physically. Definite day one pickup for me, and going to be a good rewatch in the cinema room, of course. Next then, I watched on the same day and I gave it 2.5 star, a very different film, Marching Powder. This is Danny Dyer's, I guess, big film in the cinema since leaving EastEnders, of course. Pretty okay British comedy film. Nothing special about it. I gave it 2.5 star. Neither here nor there. Decent-ish love story, I suppose. Bit of good British banter and stuff in there, and just something that I would have watched a lot, I guess, when I was 15, 16. But something I can appreciate now, but just not something that, is, amazing. But I gotta be honest, of all the films I've seen this month, Marching Powder was the busiest. It was, like, absolutely heaving in the cinema when I went, opening night. So, yeah, take that as you will. Next then we have Last Breath. This is the movie starring Woody Harrelson and Simu Lee. A true story. Basically, this guy goes, this team, I guess, of divers go underground. They fix pipes and stuff on the ocean floor, and ultimately something happens. A bit of a disaster movie. One guy gets left down there without oxygen for, I think, nearly an hour. And there's a whole rescue effort, of course, then to go and save him. And miraculously, it's a true story, but it's a miraculous story in a way. So yeah, really good film. That was, give it 3.5 stars. I did enjoy that one. It was a good watch, good suspense moments in there, and it was pretty fun as well. But I also know there's a documentary on BBC iPlayer, I believe, which I'm yet to get to, which I would like to watch after seeing the film, of course. One that I think was probably my biggest disappointment of the month, really, is Black Bag. I really thought it would be really good. Mike Fassbender, Kate Blanchett. I only gave it a 3 star. It was around a 6 out of 10 for me. Pierce Brosnan was in there as well. It missed something for me, that film. It was good spy elements in the movie, don't get me wrong, but it just missed something a little bit. And I don't really know what it was. Maybe I need a second watch of it. But I think when I read up online after the fact, people kind of agreed with me in terms of there was something missing. I'm not sure if it was performance-wise. But it's basically like a spy drama movie. This couple, Kate Blanchett and Mike Fassbender's characters are a couple, and I guess they suspect each other, as part of the case. So they're trying to watch each other's every moves and, all of that. But yeah, a little disappointing that was. And then I did a triple header in the cinema. So I did Last Breath, Black Bag, and I also then finished on In the Lost Lands, which was the final third movie of that in the evening. Gave that a 2.5 star. To be expected. I really enjoyed it from a guilty pleasure point of view, but I understand it's not a great made film. I think I said in my review it was a mixture of Mad Max and Zack Snyder's DC, because the whole look of the film, very DC-esque, but also had the bonkersness of Mad Max, in my opinion. I gave it a 2.5 star. Stars Dave Bautista in there, as well as Mia Jovovich. Really good, fun film. Enjoyment level, it was probably one of the best of the month, but as a movie, 2.5. Next one though was a cinematic experience really for me. Yes, and this is Hans Zimmer, The Diamond in the Desert. I gave it a 5-star. It was a phenomenal experience. I had to pay, I think, like a tenner upcharge to go and see this, but honestly was worth every single penny. Can't wait to own it physically. But also, I'm now going to see Hans Zimmer October 2026. So I'm very excited to go and see Hans Zimmer. I've been wanting to go and see him for a while. And yeah, October 26th now, it's a Saturday, it's going to be a Blu-ray hunting day, it's going to be a full-on vlog, it's going to be a fun time, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Hans Zimmer live. So yeah, that was a 5-star, amazing experience, good interviews with like Zendaya, Chris Nolan, Timothy Chalamet, Jerry Bruckheimer. There was a lot of people in there, Denis Villeneuve. There was loads. So they had like good music, good scenes, like, you know, showcasing some of like Dubai as well was amazing. Honestly, if you get a chance to see it, you just got to see it. Whether or not you watch it at home, physically, obviously, when it comes out, hopefully, or, you know, of course, in a cinema. Next then, Flow was the next one I went to see, and I gave it a 4-star. This was the movie that won the Best Animated Feature Movie. I gave it a 4-star. I don't think it was as good as The Wild Robot, which I rated a lot higher. 4.5, but I think Flow was still a good fun movie, you know, really beautiful animation. The colours were just amazing on the screen. Probably my worst cinema experience this month in terms of a guy in front of me on his phone all the way through the film. And if you're on your phone when you're watching Flow, it's very difficult to catch up because there's no words in Flow. It's a silent movie with obviously animal sound effects and music and whatnot, but it's a silent film. There's no talking because it's just animals and they don't have like voice actors or anything. But it worked. It really worked. It was a really good story. I don't think I'd buy it physically, but I think it's one that I would like to watch in the future again on streaming or something. But I gave it a 4-star, really well made film, and totally understand why it won the Oscar. One of the most controversial movies, not just of the month, but of the year, and I guess even entirely, Snow White. 2.5 stars. I gave Snow White. I thought Rachel Zegler was really good in the role, obviously taking aside all of the issues, but I thought she was fantastic as Snow White. You know, as a standalone casting, I think she was the best casting for that. Of all of the castings we've had, I think she's the best performance-wise. But the film itself lacked. I didn't mind the dwarfs. People are giving a lot of like hate towards the CGI dwarfs. I didn't mind the CGI dwarfs. I think they fit the Disney mold well, and they were very similar to things that we've seen, animation styles that we've seen in things like Alice in Wonderland. You know, when Matt Lucas played those Tweedledum and Tweedledee, I think, innit? So yeah, very reminiscent of that kind of thing. And I think for Disney it works because it's animation and it's blending animation and live action. I think that's what Disney was famous for and all of that, and things like Mary Poppins and other things. But I think it just worked for me, and I liked that. What I didn't like about the film, though, was Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot was the worst thing in the movie, and also like some of the bits in the film, the actual plot decision points they made was awful. So yeah, it was a tale of two halves, but 2.5 stars I settled on. Slightly better then, I went to see Novocaine, the Jack Quaid movie. 3.5 star I gave that. It's about a guy who doesn't feel no pain. A bit of an action film, reminiscent of Nobody a little bit, with a few comedy highlights. But yeah, it was pretty fun. I think that was quite a little bit of disappointment. I thought it would be a bit better than it was, but I did settle on a 7 out of 10. I thought it'd be slightly better maybe based on the trailer and all of that, but 3.5 is what I settled on, and yeah, that's that. And then finally then I went to see Woman in the Yard. So this is a horror movie about this random woman that just shows up in the front yard of this American family's home ranch or whatever, and it's a bit of a horror thriller trippy movie with a good twist at the end that, to be honest, I was probably settling on more of a 2.5. And then when the twist happened, I was like, okay, I get it now, and I'll give it a 3. So it was okay, but if you haven't got to go to the cinema to see that, if you get a chance to see it on streaming, then yeah, I'd give that a chance. Speaking of streaming then, we'll do streaming now. I've only got 3 movies on streaming, and actually no new releases. I didn't watch any of the new releases on streaming. I don't think there was anything that really jumped out at me. I think the one that I missed was The Electric State on Netflix, which I still have yet to watch. But people have reviewed it so badly that I'm just like, I don't want to dedicate 2 hours of my time to something that I know is going to be bad. But I'll give that a go now in April. I just didn't get a chance because I watched a ton of Blu-rays this month. So the 3 streaming movies then, the first one being Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, of course, the 1937 classic. I watched that in the evening after coming back from seeing the new remake, I suppose. And just, the amount of things that they took out of that, the new movie is just mad. Even the beginning with the whole singing of the birds with the well. and singing Down to the Well, I'm wishing, and all that. Those little things just make that really nostalgic for me. Like how the film opens is beautiful. But it's not one of the best Disney classics in my opinion, but it's still a fun, really fun, amazing classic. It's still really good. Then we've got Mufasa. Yes, this did have a physical release, of course, in the month of March. However, this did also come out on Disney Plus, and I gave it another shot on there. I think I showed me and my other half watched it. She hadn't seen it before. She didn't really enjoy it. I actually gave it a 2.5 star in the cinema, and I actually stuck with it. It's okay. It's not something I'm going to pick up physically for full price, but I think if it's in CX in the future or on offer, I would pick it up. I think it's an amazing looking film. Even on Disney Plus, it looks fantastic, and some of the songs are quite good. I like the Brother song, which is like gone a bit viral on TikTok. So yeah, we watched that, and then after watching that, then we watched the original Lion King movie. So we went from one extreme to the other, and that was a 5-star, a phenomenal movie. But I don't own the original one physically on 4K or anything. I just watched that through Disney Plus. So yeah, those were the 3 movies I watched through streaming, all Disney Plus ones. Have been watching the TV show as well with my other half, This Is Us. We're still currently early days of that at the moment, but yeah, it's something she loved from years gone by. So yeah, so I've also been watching that and streaming with her. Blu-ray wise then, we have 13 titles that I watched this month on Blu-ray. And some scores I think will shock people, especially the first one. So the first movie that I watched is Reservoir Dogs. The Quentin Tarantino movie, of course. Stars Michael Madsen, Steve Buscemi, Chris Penn, Lawrence Tierney, Tim Roth, as well as Harvey Keitel. I gave it a 2.5 star, guys. I found it boring, to be honest. They're basically stuck in a room and just chatting, and it wasn't what I expected, to be honest. I think I went into it and I was a bit disappointed, ultimately. Yeah, I don't think I would rush to watch this again. I think it's the worst Tarantino movie I've seen. And I have seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Hateful Eight, Django, I think that's it. And now this. So I've only seen 4. I haven't seen Jackie Brown and the Kill Bills. I've got those on the shelf. They might watch them next month. But anyways, Reservoir Dogs, 2.5 star. Ashamed, to be honest, this one was. And I'm pretty gutted because I thought this would be a lot better than it was for me. But I didn't enjoy it in that way. And I know the comments will say, you gave the same score as this to, Marching Powder. Yes, but it wasn't enjoyable. Would I watch Marching Powder again? I probably would. But would I choose this again? Probably not. I think I'm just somebody that's more... I prefer my newer films than my older films, for a start. I've no nostalgia with this. And also, it just was... Once you've seen it for me. I guess if you saw it in the cinema years ago and you grew up with it and you watch it on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, if it ever happens, you have that nostalgia. But it doesn't resonate with me. And watched it now, meh. That's my thought. Similar one then as well. I've done an entire video on this, so I won't speak too much about it. But this is The Breakfast Club. This is a first time watch, of course. That was on my shelf. And again, very similar story here. I gave this a 3 star. I appreciated this one a bit more, though, in terms of I understand why people love this. And if you grew up with this and you was in school when this came out, like these guys, you'd be more nostalgic with it. But it's just not for me. And I appreciate it. I've seen it now. But would I watch her again? Probably not. So 3 star. I'm just young, guys. I know I look old, right? But I'm young. It's hard for me to watch older films that don't resonate with me, An older film that did resonate with me, though, and the franchise that I did start then during the month of March, of course, is The Terminator. So this is the 4K. I did an entire video of this one as well. I gave this a 4 star as a film. I thought it was a good opening. James Cameron movie there, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course. Fantastic. Then, of course, I watched number 2. I gave number 2, right, a 5 star. I thought number 2 was fantastic and probably one of the best sci-fi films I've ever seen. I think it's better than some Star Wars films. Honestly, I do. And that's big for me to say, but I really had a good time with Terminator 2. And I can't wait to watch it on 4K, to be honest. I know the 4K is not meant to be as good, but I'm a new fan. I've got no nostalgia of what it was like on DVD or whatever. I've only ever seen this version, so yeah. One that surprised me, though, was Terminator 3 then. This I gave a 3.5 star to. This was fantastic. Really good follow-up. You think, oh, this is the last one with Arnie, so maybe it's, goes a bit pear-shaped, but I gave it a 3.5. It was all right. It was good. Then, where it started to go a little bit downhill was Salvation. I gave this a 2-star. Of course, starring Christian Bale and Sam Worthington. Yeah, just a little bit strange for me, but good CGI, of course. And then of course, the most recent film of the month I watched is Genesis, which I picked up on a Blu-ray hunt recently. And again, I gave that a 2-star as well, because, you know, CGI is good. Arnie came back. Some of the things are weird in there, you know. Yeah, just some of the decisions are a bit strange, but yeah, very weird, the last two. They definitely get worse, don't they, these Terminator films? But that's the Terminator movies I watched and the formats that I watched them on there. And again, I've got now Dark Fate to watch, which we'll watch in the month of April. But all in all, pretty good franchise. You know, I really enjoyed watching the franchise as a whole, and I'd love them all on 4K one day. You know, that would be a really good addition. Next one then is a David Fincher movie starring Michael Douglas, and I picked it up on Blu-ray and I had a comment from a viewer always saying, you haven't watched her again, and I have this month. It's The Game. I gave The Game a 3.5 star. It was all right, to be honest. Really trippy. Michael Douglas basically is playing this guy who he opts into this game, and it impacts his life. Phone goes off, all of these things. It's a bit of a puzzle mystery drama movie with some thriller elements in there. I thought it was all right. Definitely not one of my favourite Fincher films, like things like Gone Girl, things like Fight Club, you know, all of those. But The Game for me was okay. 3.5 star, 7 out of 10, a pretty decent score. Would I watch it again though? I'm not too sure. Now that I've seen it, I'm not too sure it's worthy of staying in my collection. But it's I ticked it off the list, so there it is, 3.5 star for The Game. Then we have a new release which I watched this month, which I picked up and watched this month rather. We have Wicked. So this is the 4K version, of course, of Wicked the movie. I did unbox the steelbook, but I decided to go for this slipcover version because it was really nice, and I like the black case with the whole design. Really, really nice, and a very, very good 4K film as well. Looks amazing. So when I saw Wicked in the cinema for the first 2 times, I actually gave it a 3.5 star both times. And this is my 3rd watch of Wicked now, since obviously November 24 when it came out. But I upped my score this time. This is now a 4 star for me. I thought this was really fun watching it at home. And yeah, I just decided that it slightly deserved a little bit of a better score overall. Maybe it sat with me a little bit more. I've had time to digest it a little bit more. The songs are a bit more reminiscent now, and I'm starting to like hear the songs, you know, around the place a bit more and stuff like that. And yeah, so that was the 4K copy of Wicked, and I've upped my score to 4 stars. So very pleased with that pickup this month, and of course reliving that movie. So reliving a movie that's been on my shelf for a while as well. One I just decided one evening I want to pick that one, and it is a Denis Villeneuve movie, Arrival. This was a first time watch for me, never seen this. Stars Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, as well as Forrest Whitaker, of course. And it's a sci-fi movie that gives off Interstellar vibes based on this intro here, but it's not that level for me. I gave it a 4 star as well, and it's a 4K copy as well of the movie. It's basically about this random little alien ship here that arrives on Earth, and I think there's like 12 of them. They try and figure out how to communicate with them and understand, you know, why they are there. Are they there to destroy humanity? Are they there for other reasons? Do they want things? Because these things have just randomly appeared, of course. So yeah, Amy Adams' character is like I want to say like linguist or something. Like linguist, expert linguist. So she basically can talk to people, and that's her skill set as a linguist. And yeah, she ultimately translates the alien language into human language, of course, into English. And yeah, he's able to communicate with them. So that's what it's about. I didn't think it would be about that. I didn't know what it was about. I was a bit let down when I found out what it was about, but visually stunning. And a really good score as well. Really nice melodic moments in there. But I won't watch this for a while, and I don't think it's one of my favourite sci-fi films, but it's a good one. So that was Arrival. Next then, we have a musical. So when I watched the Lion King and Mufasa film from streaming, I also decided to chuck this on as my other half fell asleep, and it's In the Heights. Of course, watched Wicked this month, is directed by John Chu, and this is also directed by John Chu. So I thought I'll give this another shot, and I always gave this a 3.5 star, and I stuck with it. It's still fun, you know. I think some of the songs in there are a bit questionable. It's very Hamilton-esque because obviously it is from the creator of Hamilton. So if you haven't seen Hamilton or you know Hamilton, it's very Hamilton-esque. If you like Hamilton, you'll probably like this. You know, it stars Anthony Ramos as well. Melissa Barrero, she was absolutely brilliant in there. Honestly, I forgot she was in this film. Obviously, she was in the Scream films recently, but she is absolutely brilliant in this film. Of course, I've got the 4K here with the slip, and then I've got the discs there then on the side. So, brilliant movie. This was the first, I picked this up on the first day it came out as well in HMV a while back. But yeah, I watched that again, gave it another rewatch, and that was a 3.5 star. And then finally then, I watched a review copy of The Long Kiss Goodnight. So I don't know if I can put this on the screen, but this is the disc basically that they sent me. It's just a disc. There's some text and stuff on here. I'm not sure if I can show because it has loads of numbers and stuff. However, yeah, I watched the 4K of that. I did an entire video of The Long Kiss Goodnight reviewing the 4K before the movie actually comes out. It's actually out on the 7th of April on Monday. And yeah, so that video is up on the channel. I gave that film though a 3-star, 6 out of 10. I settled on. It was pretty good, really good. You know, Samuel L. Jackson, Gina Davis, action-y, kind of heisty kind of film, you know, with a bit of, you know, drama elements in there. So pretty good good movie, to be honest, from the 90s. Looked stunning on my 4K TV. Like, I'm not just saying that, of course, because it was gifted to me, but honestly, it looked brilliant. And yeah, I think it's going to look really good, you know, in other people's homes as well, of course. So yeah, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos was really, really good, and a nice watch as well. So that is all. That is all movies. 26 films I watched this month. That is all the movies that I watched this month, of course. And of course, then the Blu-rays on top of that. So I think I did really well. Like, do you mean, considering I haven't been in this room much, like over the last over the last year, really, you know, to watch this many films, right, in this room, I think is really good. You know, obviously the Terminator franchise helped because I was watching the whole series, and there will be another series of movies that I'll watch in the coming weeks. But thanks so much for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon, and there it is. There is what I watched during the month of March. Let me know your thoughts down below. Did you watch any movies that I watched, and you have any same thoughts, any different thoughts, any controversial ones? Was I really like off the mark in some of them, most notably Reservoir Dogs probably? But let me know your thoughts down below, and of course, please do subscribe if you're new to the channel. It really does help, and it pushes the videos to more and more people, so more and more people get to enjoy my content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.